I'm very excited about the season ahead.
When you are the #1 team, become more of a target.
The expectations are very high.
We're not arriving thinking we're world champions and we're trying to defend it. We want to win it. Formula 1 doesn't stop.
'Every year is a big challenge, and every year is a good year.
Good time, good enough break. It's nice to be back, that's for sure.
It's a great opportunity at the moment. I look forward to it. I look forward to this challenge of going up against Lewis again.
And it's lights out and away we go. It's a great start from Sebastian Vettel. Nico Rosberg on the inside, Hamilton on the outside. Hamilton's down in fourth, made that fifth as Max Verstappen. As Hamilton has the Williams for company into turn 3. He's going to have a little go on the inside here. Massa goes wide, Hamilton swoops round the outside, and now Lewis Hamilton up into 5th place. The undercut that they tried Mercedes with Nico Rosberg might just have worked to great effect, because here comes Rosberg. He's attacking Sebastian Vettel. Into turn 3 we go. Vettel just stays ahead.
I can't get past this guy.
So you can take it easy and we'll just extend the stint.
It's got to be another strategy, guys. I can't be stuck with this guy behind him for ages.
Red flag, Nico, red flag. So you'll be going into the pit lane and lining up.
Here we go then, racing once again. Sebastian Vettel ahead then of Nico Rosberg and Kimi Räikkönen. Oh, they've got a problem at the rear, a problem at the front, I should say. That was a slow stop. Sebastian Vettel has debris down there, and he's gone deep into the corner. Nico Rosberg wins the Australian Grand Prix.
Yes, well done, good job.
Yeah! Awesome, guys, awesome! Thank you very much. Great start to the season.
So well done, mate. That's P2. Good recovery. Bad day at the office, but well done, mate. Good recovery.
Minutes a win for Nico Rosberg. A 15th win of his Formula 1 career.
I think I might have an engine failure.
He has a massive engine failure. It's lights out and away we go. I think Rosberg got slightly the better start. He touches the Mercedes. Hamilton has damage to his bodywork.
Feels wrong with my rib.
Comes Lewis Hamilton on Valtteri Bottas, easily made it.
Nico, he'll go to the end on this set. Gap to Raikkonen is...
Don't tell me every lap. Just tell me every 4 laps or something.
Rosberg wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Woohoo!
Great job, Nico, great job.
Yeah, awesome guys, yeah!
Yeah, good job from everybody, and very happy.
What's the secret of this start then? Is it repeatable?
Well, we're working on it a lot, for sure. So hopefully we're making progress, but still early days, you know, and we need to keep on it.
Cracking lead in the World Championship, though.
I haven't seen it, but I'm sure, yeah. I mean, points-wise, I'm pleased with getting so many points in the beginning. It's good start.
How much damage was there to the car? How much did that affect you?
I don't really know. I mean, there's some side of the car was damaged, the floor was damaged, and so, yeah, I mean, the car was sliding around quite a bit, but I did the best job I could with what I had.
From that point on, it was a case of damage limitation, I guess, for you.
Yeah, I was just trying to recover from that. I'm just glad that, as I said, that I could keep going, and that it wasn't so bad that I couldn't fight the guys and I was falling back or staying in the same position I was in. So at least I got to race a little bit, and that was fun.
Lewis Hamilton out of Q1 for the first time since Hungary in 2014.
I'm sure the guys are just as gutted as I am, but we win and we lose together, so it's really a case of trying to figure out the issue and make sure that it doesn't happen again to other cars.
Do you think more running this morning, it would have been discovered earlier and given you more of a chance, do you think? Don't know.
I have no idea.
Hungary, you started from the pits in 2014, you finished on the podium. Does that give you a little bit of inspiration around here? You can overtake on this track.
You can overtake here. Tyres don't last as well, so it's going to be it's perhaps not as simple as it was in that race. But of course, I'll give it everything I've got to try and get up. It isn't over until it's over. So.
Just want you guys also to know I'm grateful for all the hard work. Get the car up together. Thank you.
And it's lights out, and away we go. Good start from Rosberg, good start from Ricciardo, and also from Sebastian Vettel. Now, Kimi Raikkonen, I should say. But Bottas has to go wide, and Fiat slips in on the inside, and the two Ferraris have crashed. Lewis Hamilton, we're on board now. The front wing caught underneath the car, as you can see.
I lost my wing.
Okay, copy that, Lewis. We're ready for you. In case the front wing's under your car, so just caution.
And look at the power of that Mercedes-Benz engine. And Ricciardo's got a problem. He's got a puncture. Martin, you're right. The safety car has been thrown. Here we go. Those smoking brakes there on the front of the Mercedes for Nico Rosberg. There goes Lewis Hamilton down the inside on Valtteri Bottas. Don't see cars being overtaken there at turn 9.
Just give it everything you got, mate.
Nico Rosberg has made it 3 wins out of 3 in Formula 1 in 2016.
Really spectacular.
Well done, Lewis. Sorry we let you down with the equipment this weekend.
Thanks, Paddy. My apologies, guys. I tried everything I could to get back up, but...
Lewis will not be taking part in Q3. His power unit has suffered the same failure as in Shanghai. It occurred on the outlap of the second run in Q2.
It's the second engine from that I took last year, the last race. Same failure as I had in the last race.
So this unit obviously has got a problem with it. Did you know anything about it before today? Were the team worried about it before today at all?
No, just went back out in Q2 at the end to just get a feeler lap, and I lost the same power as I lost in China.
So a new power unit's got to be put in for tomorrow. You'll take a penalty, I guess, for that and start quite a way back in this grid. This season is really, really pushing you, isn't it, in terms of making you work hard?
Definitely.
How do you cope with this? How do you deal with this? Because you're taking it very well at the moment. You seem very chilled about it.
There's nothing I can do.
You can do.
Yeah.
But you're still in the fight for this championship. You're not going to give up.
I never give up. So.
And it's lights out and away we go. And it's Rosberg in the lead. Raikkonen takes second place and there's contact in the back. Worse, and there's a spin. There is a spinning Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. And Nico Hülkenberg, who was out at turn 1. Hamilton's having a move on Massa. Bottas goes down the inside on Raikkonen. Hamilton goes down the inside on Massa. Hamilton is going to make a move as well. Hamilton on Raikkonen, down the inside he goes. Raikkonen allows the room, allows Hamilton to come past.
Get in there, Lewis. Come on, man.
Throws one down the inside on Valtteri Bottas and makes the move very comfortably indeed. It is going to be close, and that overtake of Hamilton on Bottas has now allowed Raikkonen a crucial move. Mercedes crew waiting for Nico Rosberg.
So Lewis, it looks like we have a water pressure issue. The situation has stabilised.
It's Nico Rosberg who wins in Russia. His magnificent...
Hurrah! Excellent drive, Nico. Well done. We've finally done it in Russia.
Awesome weekend.
Yeah, top job, Nico.
Thanks, everybody.
Feeling good in the car and 43 points ahead in the championship. Can you take that confidence with you to a straight fight on track with Lewis? Because you haven't been able to have that yet this season. If you had a straight fight, the way you're feeling at the moment, you must feel confident that you come out on top of that as well.
Well, straight fight to Lewis is what I'm here for. You know, that's the best in racing because he's the benchmark in the end. You know, and I look forward to it when it happens again. And other than that, of course, it's always going to be a tough battle against him. You know, because just as before, he's still as motivated and as quick as ever. You know, so maybe we'll be seeing it already in Barcelona.
Do you miss it? Do you get the same sense of achievement without it?
Well, I can't say I miss it really, because I mean it's awesome to win, you know, and I want to win races, and in the end it doesn't really matter how, you know, winning is just great. That's what I'm here for. But of course, the ecstatic feeling isn't there. It's there when I win a battle against Lewis, you know. That's what really gets the ultimate thrill. So of course that's just an extra.
Now the battle for pole position. Rosberg has it at the moment. Hamilton was on pole in 2014. Hamilton crosses the line. He's on pole in 2016. Now comes Nico Rosberg, and it's Hamilton who's taken it ahead of Rosberg, the championship leader.
Very, very happy with getting the lap. Obviously, Nico's been very strong all weekend, so it was crucial that, you know, bit by bit, stepping stone, one step at a time, I've been really trying to bring the pace together. And but firstly, I really want to say a big thank you to the team, all the guys back at the factory, for working so hard over the last 2 weeks to really try to rectify the issues that we've had. And you know, this is it's 3 out of 3 for me, so I'm pretty happy. Obviously didn't get to compete in the last 2 qualifying sessions, so very, very happy with it and very grateful as well. And the car was great. Yesterday was a bit of a difficult day, so to be able to start on the right foot today is a real blessing.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Coming to you, Nico, you had the strongest first run in Q3, but are you a little bit disappointed with the outcome at the end of qualifying, or are you taking a view at the long game here?
No, for sure I'm disappointed to be second, yeah. Wanted to be first today, of course. But yeah, Lewis was just quicker in qualifying today, and that's it. Fortunately, it's the race that counts, you know, so there's still a couple of opportunities tomorrow for sure, at the start, for example. And then strategy-wise, you know, it's not going to be an easy race tomorrow, so try and take my chances there.
And it's lights out, and away we go. It's a super start from Nico Rosberg. Hamilton's got going as well, moves over to try and cut off his teammate. Round the outside goes Nico Rosberg into turn 1, ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Three we go, and it's Nico Rosberg, and Hamilton's onto the grass, and Hamilton's had a massive crash, and he's crashed into his teammate. The two Mercedes come together as Hamilton covers his hands over his eyes.
Huge apology to all of our team.
I'm well aware of all the hard work that you've put into this, these 2 cars.
Just let the team know that I you know, I'll do everything I can to make sure it doesn't happen again.
You know, went for the usual racing driver action of closing the inside line and closing the door.
I got my wheel and my wing alongside, but I had to avoid collision. And he had a D-rate. Basically made a mistake and started in the wrong engine setting.
My mode was definitely in the incorrect mode, yes.
We saw some on board with Anthony Davidson, and he saw that Nico was maybe distracted by changing that setting, so saw you too late. So do you lay any blame anywhere?
I'm not going to get into it.
Lewis's move, he said there was more room on the right, so he went for it because he was in the correct mode and had the power. You think you lay the blame at his door, basically?
I didn't say that.
Has it become absolutely clear that you simply made a mistake by not putting the switch into the right, the strut 3 setting? So why you were not in the right engine mode?
Yeah. So the switch was in the wrong position. It's my job to put it in the right position. That's it. Pretty simple. Not much more to say with that. And in terms of formation lap and start, it's the same as always. You know, of course, you need to think about what you're doing, and there's a lot going on, and that's it. So you need to come up with ways of making sure that everything is done properly. That's it.
One question to Nico. Nico, if you was the team principal of Mercedes, what would you tell your both drivers after the incident in Barcelona before the Monaco race?
Well, you know, what am I going to answer that? I mean, I'm not the team principal, you know, so that's not my job to even think about that. Why? I have enough to think about myself to try and win this race, with all the respect. So, I don't know what I should answer to that.
Have you A, spoken to Lewis since the race to discuss the events of Spain, and B, when you get out to race this week, will there be from you an obligation to race absolutely full out, not giving Lewis an inch, and if you need to shut the door on Lewis again, that you would do that?
So if we've spoken or not, as always, that needs to be kept internally. What I can say is that between the two of us, it's a thing of the past now. We're moving on, you know, just with everything, and the relationship is the same as before, and nothing's changed. And now, going out on track, I'm not going to be thinking about Barcelona. I'm going to take the same approach as always, flat out, and do what's necessary to try and win this Grand Prix, which is what I've come here to do.
A question for Nico, please. Nico, what's the big secret about whether you and Lewis have even talked? I could understand data being secret, or car settings, or engine changes, but the fact that you guys have just talked, that's just open information, isn't it?
Because, of course, I try and give you as much information as I can, because you're writing for all of our supporters out there to have a good time and read some cool stuff, you know. But there comes a point where, at the same time, we're trying to keep a good spirit in the team and win lots of races, you know. So there's a balance, and some things are just better not to share.
People are going to read a no comment as the fact that you have to.
I didn't say it was a no comment. I just said it's better to keep it internal, that part, and then I tried to elaborate on everything else.
Guys, engine, something's wrong with the engine.
Lewis Hamilton, you can see, pulling over to one side in the pit lane. We properly get going in Q3. Lewis Hamilton looks like he properly can't get going at the moment. This is properly committed from Daniel Ricciardo, it really is. He said he was pumped up, he was going all out for pole, and this will be provisional pole of a 1:13.622. Incredible. Can Sebastian Vettel beat that though? His former teammate? No, he can't. He goes second fast. Hamilton on pole last year suffered a loss of power at the start of Q3. It seemed that his qualifying woes had come back to haunt him. Can he put his Mercedes on provisional pole once again? No! Lost time through the final sector. Hamilton only third. Nico Rosberg now, winner of the last 3 Monaco Grand Prix. Can he go faster than Daniel Ricciardo? No, he can't! Only second for Rosberg. He keeps up his run of front row appearances.
Another little reliability issue. Do you think you could have made a bigger challenge for pole if you'd got that second run in?
Honestly, it doesn't really matter what I think now. It's done and dusted. I'm starting third tomorrow, so I'll do what I can from there. But yeah.
So it's the first time ever that we've had a safety car start here in Monaco.
The spray is better now, let's get going.
The safety car is in this lap.
Jolyon Palmer crashes out of his first Monaco Grand Prix. There's Romain Grosjean. It's Kimi Raikkonen as well. Tough call to make for Mercedes.
They had to make that call.
Is Lewis pitting into the pits? Now comes Lewis Hamilton, and it is ultra soft tyres going on. Making his way into the swimming pool. The tyres aren't ready. Whoever made the call, the tyres weren't ready. Super soft tyres going on. Here comes the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. Ricciardo on the inside. Hamilton takes the lead. But Ricciardo, of course, has that inside line to Sandoval. Hamilton now leads. As Hamilton just goes straight onto the chicane. And now Daniel Ricciardo wants to have a go into the back.
What was that?
And it's Lewis Hamilton who wins for the first time in 2016. Hulkenberg has finished 6th. He's got ahead of him by 0.2 of a second. And it's lights out and away we go. Look at Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel, what a move going into turn 1. Indian Grand Prix, Rosberg gets pushed wide by Hamilton. No, it's Sebastian Vettel, the race leader, is coming into the pits just as the virtual safety car ends. Comes Nico Rosberg. Hamilton comes into the pits for the next 45 laps.
You gotta give me more information because of all the stuff going on my steering wheel. With the warnings and everything.
Warnings are real. Okay, Nico, you've got a slow right rear puncture. Box, box, box.
But there he goes, he's having a go under braking Nico Rosberg. What a move from the championship leader. Rosberg makes a mistake. The championship leader makes a mistake. Can he keep the engine running? His teammate Lewis Hamilton comes around the final corner now to make it 5 Canadian Grand Prix victories as Hamilton wins.
Awesome race, mate. Awesome race.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That was for Mohammed, that was for Ali. The car felt fantastic. I think I got the setup just right with great work from the engineers and mechanics. And man, I won my first Grand Prix here in 2007, so this is just, you know, just feels such a blessing.
Talk us through the start and what happened through those first corners as well with the move from Lewis.
Well, Sebastian had a great start, and I had a decent one, and Lewis had a really bad one, and I was where my position was on the outside there, you know. And in Barcelona, I gave it a go around the outside of Lewis, and it worked out really well. Went for the same again today, and he did a really hard racing maneuver, you know, and we touched, and I was off, and that's it. So didn't work out. I was very pissed off in the moment, you know, and but that's racing in the end, and it's my job to make sure that I'm in front after a battle like that next time, you know, and that's it. So of course that was very costly for me because I lost a lot of places, and from then, yeah, uphill battle, you know, trying to fight back. Difficult, just especially with fuel. I nearly ran out of fuel, and so that's why I couldn't really attack Max properly at the end. He did a very good job as well to defend when I was attacking. He did really well, but then I had to drop back, save fuel again, try again, drop back, and then in the end it went completely pear-shaped and spun round or whatever, but managed to carry it home still. But frustrating race, of course.
This is turning in to an absolute nightmare for Lewis Hamilton.
I'm out of that session.
Not only has he touched the wall, but he's damaged his car. And we haven't seen how he did it. We're going to see it now. It ends like this. His teammate Nico Rosberg crosses the line and bags pole position by some margin.
And we watched an onboard of yours as you came up towards turn 10 there on that lap, and the sun was at a really awkward angle as well. Was that anything to do with those conditions or anything at all?
No, it was just me. Just wasn't in it, as I said. Just wasn't hitting the apexes, wasn't hitting the right braking zones, wasn't just none of it was in the right place today.
Okay, let's have one quick question on the race tomorrow then. In terms of this track, there is a great toe you can get on that final straight. We know the speed you've got at the moment. What can you do? Can you still win this race tomorrow?
Highly doubt that I can win the race, but I'll do my best to try and gain as many points as I can. Nico's got a pretty easy run at the front. We've got more pace than most, I think. So as long as he gets a good start, he'll be gone into the distance. And my job's just trying to get through the big tangle of guys I have in front of me.
And it's lights out and away we go. It's a super start from Daniel Ricciardo, but Nico Rosberg moves over to cover him off. And look at that, Lewis Hamilton on the right-hand side, Bottas on the inside, Verstappen in the middle, three of them going in one by one. It's Bottas that comes out in front, and Verstappen now under pressure from Lewis Hamilton into turn 2. Hamilton goes down the inside. Hamilton in Mercedes there, because one lap later he might have come out behind. And Perez on Ricciardo, easy peasy for the Mexican there. Down the inside goes Hamilton, and on the inside Hamilton manages to get past Daniel Ricciardo.
D-race everywhere. I'm sure that's not helping. Is there no solution for this?
We are working on it, Lewis.
You guys need to pick up the pace.
So he's talking about day rate, so he's not getting the kinetic energy, the MGUH or whatever, you know, that power that just ramps up the engine and the turbo. It's not working.
Can I not reset this thing?
So the problem appears to be with the current mode that you're in.
I don't know what you mean, man. I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, copy that, Lewis. Hard to say what it is.
This is ridiculous, guys. I don't know. Looking at my freaking dash every 5 seconds, trying to find a switch that's in the wrong position. I haven't changed anything or done something any wrong, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, Lewis, it's nothing that you're doing wrong. You've just got a setting that's incorrect.
In HVP?
I'm afraid I can't say, Lewis.
Well, I might not finish this race because I'm going to try and change everything.
We don't advise that, Lewis.
I'm making suggestions that you think it's okay or not.
No, that's not allowed. Let's just get heads down and focus on the job.
And it's Nico Rosberg back winning again.
Yeehaw!
Excellent job, Nico.
Thanks a lot, guys. Awesome.
Rosberg wins in Baku. The championship leader extends his advantage.
Well, Lewis, another difficult day by the sounds of it out there. Just tell us everything that was going on with your car.
I had an engine problem, so I'm not really sure what it was, but then all of a sudden, I think 9 or 8 laps to go, it fixed itself, so all of a sudden I got power back. Basically, I was driving with, it felt like I was driving without the EOS pack, so.
Well, we heard on team radio that they were saying to you that you were in the wrong setting. Did you actually change anything when the car looked like it got quicker and you were posting fastest laps, about 8 laps to go?
As far as I'm aware, I was not in the wrong setting, and perhaps they started in the wrong setting maybe, but I hadn't changed anything, so I shall find out afterwards. But I mean, I was looking at my dashboard and my steering wheel, trying to figure out what I could have done wrong, and all my switches that I have control of, that I'm able to use, were all in the right place. So I can't imagine what it is, but basically I was driving without the EOS pack, so I had no boost or no KERS, or whatever it is, for pretty much the whole race.
We've heard Toto say that there was a switch setting that you both had to change on your cars. You managed to do it pretty quickly and not have too many problems with it. Lewis couldn't find it and had a lot of problems during the race with it. What was the switch setting, and was it something you've come across before?
No, so we both had a performance power issue, you know, out there, and it was pretty clear at the time. But the problem is that with the radio clampdown, they can't tell us what it is exactly. They're just allowed to tell us that there is an issue in this mode. What mode? Who knows? You know. But the problem, I knew what it was, and so I just took the most likely switch and I switched it off, and then it was working fine. So that was it.
How frustrating is it for drivers with this team radio ban that you can't seem to get a simple answer?
It was definitely awkward because there's nothing I spend a lot of the race just looking at my screen because there was so much different information, and then in the engine switch there's 16 positions, and then in those there's like 20 positions, and I don't know which one it is that's not been set right or not right, and there's nothing I can do. So this is where the team, you know, the Formula 1 and FIA make it as technical as it is and give us all these switches. We don't know what the guys back at the garage know. So, you know, but it is what it is.
Do you study a lot in terms of what problems could be as a result of, because these radio rules are clamped down so much, do you study it even more maybe now than before?
For sure, because it makes it all more challenging, and we're much more on our own out there, you know. So I do put effort into that side. Whether it now helped in this specific case, not necessarily, but still, yeah, it's an area, it's a new challenge, you know, which makes it different, and which causes these sort of difficulties, you know, in a race. So from that sense, it's a good thing, I guess.
So you're happy with the rules at the moment?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Good job today. Well done.
Thank you.
Is this the sort of most frustrating run of luck that you've had in your Formula 1 career, because so many victories and more points have been taken out of your hands?
Yeah, well, I can't really remember. I don't remember much past the last couple of races, so definitely had better seasons, but there's still a long way to go, and I'm going to give it everything I can to keep battling and hope that there are less and less mistakes moving forwards.
Oh, he's gone off. He's gone off. Nico Rosberg has brought out the red flag and has had quite a major moment. Now, look at the rear left tyre.
Oh.
Is that suspension braking?
Yeah. Yeah. And so that would explain. See, that's the puff of smoke I saw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kimi Raikkonen behind Sebastian Vettel. It's Ferrari 1 and 2. Ricciardo third fastest. Hamilton's on pole. 1:07.9 for Lewis Hamilton. Pole here last year. Provisional pole at the moment. Can Nico Hülkenberg take that pole back? No. Front row though for Force India. Nico Rosberg crosses the line, takes that front row, but Rosberg will drop 5 places. Hülkenberg starts alongside Hamilton on the front row for the Austrian Grand Prix.
Nico, it was always going to be a tough day for you today anyway. One after the crash this morning. You've got this penalty for the gearbox change, but firstly, brilliant of the guys to get you out for qualifying, and you seem to nail it straight away and have the confidence back in the car immediately.
Yeah, it was really amazing teamwork, so I'm very thankful. Everybody, even Lewis's mechanics came on my car, you know, to finish it off, and so that was impressive and great to get out. And yeah, I felt good straight away, so I was able to put a great lap in straight away. And then exciting conditions, and Lewis just beat me to it in the end. You know, he did a better job, and that's it. But tomorrow is going to be tough with the gearbox penalty, you know. That's going to make it more difficult.
Lewis has shown, though, that Mercedes power around here can get you up to the front. He got up to second from 9th a couple of years ago. So with that in mind, surely the win still is there for you tomorrow.
Well, come on, Lewis is starting from P1. It's not going to be that, yeah. I mean,
he started from P1 last year.
Yeah, but I was P2, not P7. Anyways, I'll try it. Let's see what I can do. It's going to be a difficult one, but yeah, with a bit of luck maybe.
And it's lights out and away we go. Hamilton leads then into turn 1. Hamilton you assume, Martin, happy with the way his tyres are coping. Rosberg wants to get those softs on as quick as possible. Soft compound tyres going on for Hamilton, but it's a slower stop. And as Hamilton makes his way down the pit lane, Nico Rosberg has just flashed past our commentary box at a rate of knots. There he goes. Nico Rosberg overtakes his teammate Lewis Hamilton after the first pit stop. But that's Sebastian Vettel. And something has happened to his right rear tyre, and he nearly collected at the manor. Sebastian Vettel, who was leading this race, crashing out.
I went over the debris, so check the pressure.
That's enough to significantly affect the aerodynamic.
To go racing again, and Hamilton seemed to be a little bit slow there in reacting to it. Verstappen was all over his rear wing. Hamilton now is streaking away.
Okay, Lewis, close that gap as much as you can. It's hammer time.
So they've pitted again for a second time, and if Lewis Hamilton is to win this race from pole today, he is going to have to do some overtaking to do it.
Nico car ahead, he's on the super soft tyre. 16 laps remaining, need to attack him, pass on track.
Why is he on a softer tyre than me?
So Lewis, we think this is the right tyre to get to the end.
This is close. Hamilton got a fantastic drive out of turn one.
So here he goes then. Is this hammer time? Lewis Hamilton wheel to wheel with Nico Rosberg. In towards turn two. His teammate's got the inside line. They've touched again. Hamilton runs wide. And is he going to come onto the track and touch his teammate? He's now got damage. Nico Rosberg to his front wing. Bits of carbon fibre are showering the track. And Lewis Hamilton does manage to overtake his teammates. Rosberg might not even end up on the podium. He's been passed by the Red Bull and the Ferrari as well. Hamilton wins out. Hamilton takes the Austrian Grand Prix. The 250th Grand Prix win by a British driver. The championship leader in fourth place, minus a front wing.
Well done, mate. It's not the race we were after. Yeah, good result.
That was on the outside. That wasn't me that crashed.
Nico, a great strategy today from the team to put you into the lead of this race. How disappointed are you not to be standing on that top step of the podium?
Yeah, massively disappointed for sure. That's a tough one because I was pretty sure I was going to win that. Then I got my brakes overheated on the last lap, and that changed the brakes a lot, and the pedal, and that made it massively difficult. But anyways, I was still in a good position to defend, and I had the inside line, and it's my corner, on the inside, and I was very surprised that Lewis decided to turn in.
Firstly, congratulations. We've been speaking to Nico though, and he mentioned that he was leading the race and it was his corner going into that. What would be your take on that?
I can't really I've not really seen the replay. I mean, as far as I'm aware, I was going in ahead. I was ahead, so I'm not really sure. But I did. I left a lot of room. I didn't try to close in or anything like that. I went to the right to the white line. So perhaps it was his corner, but he made a mistake and crashed into me. So I don't know who's. I guess I'm definitely not at fault there.
You went very deep into that corner. Was that because you were struggling with the brakes, or was it intentional to try and push Lewis wider around the longer route around the outside?
It was a bit of both. I mean, for one, I was struggling to slow the car. Well, that's the main one, really. Just struggling to slow the car. But anyways, I'm on the inside, and I have it's my position, and I have the corner, and I have the right to dictate the way.
Holding the championship lead, does that take you can take more risks in those kind of situations, one-on-one with your teammate?
What does it take? What?
Holding the championship lead, does that mean you can actually take more risks, knowing you've got less to lose?
No, I don't think about that. I just wanted to win the race today, and it didn't work out.
But I just let it go over my head, and I just kept pushing. I was like, okay, if I'm going to win this world championship, I'm going to have to dig deep. and I dug as deep as I could. I gave everything I had today, and so I stand here I feel proud of myself that I don't leave here with any stone unturned. I don't leave here thinking I could have given that extra bit more. I gave everything I got.
When you guys get together, racing one-on-one, in the recent history anyway, it seems you come to blows quite a lot. Take it from America last year or Spain a couple of races ago. What are we going to have to do to keep you guys apart in racing situations?
I don't have an answer to that. I mean, I'm very surprised about today and very gutted for sure, so I don't have an answer to that.
The British weather has served up what could be a real treat as away we go to start the race. Second time this season we've started behind the safety car.
The safety car is just really slow, so it's not that easy for us to keep temperatures up. We can go, Charlie.
Safety car peels away, and finally, on lap 5 of the British Grand Prix, we can get away racing for real. The top 4 all stay out on the wet tyre.
Hamilton's pitted, using this opportunity, and Rosberg 2, Verstappen 2.
Yeah, it's a nice opportunity because the Inters are faster on this circuit, on this day, and they didn't even need to stack, so Rosberg hasn't lost any time. Good work by the Mercedes team, that worked out nice.
So important to look after these tyres, important.
Look how Rosberg's struggling there. We don't often see a pass on this part of the track. Round at Chapel, there he goes. Max Verstappen moves into second place. Hamilton going into turn 1 now, and he doesn't spin in the way that others have.
And he was very cautious coming back on.
DRS for Nico Rosberg. Max Verstappen has to cover him off.
That's moving twice, that is not on. Copy that message, Nico.
And round the outside at Stowe goes Nico Rosberg. He's got his own back, and he's got his second place back.
Driver default 101, chassis default 01. Avoid 7th gear, Nico, avoid 7th gear.
But what does that mean? I mean, I have to shift through it.
Stay firm, Nico, you need to shift through it.
Rosberg in trouble. 10-second penalty, that'll put him back in 3rd place.
It's Lewis Hamilton winning the British Grand Prix at Silverstone.
Awesome stuff, Lewis. Great job, man. British Grand Prix.
Great job this weekend, guys. Thank you so much for your continued efforts. Everyone back in the factory. Right now, I'm thinking about all the people.
And there were yellow flags as well now in Sector 2, and that is because Fernando Alonso has had a spin and a moment, and unless he can get that car going, Rosberg has got half a chance of doing this. Sebastian Vettel didn't have to lift off either in that middle sector. Rosberg crosses the line, he's got pole position, and Lewis Hamilton had to back off. And that yellow flag caused him to back off in the middle sector and not have the chance to improve his time. Rosberg has snatched pole position, 50th front row start in Formula 1. It's lights out and away we go. Hamilton gets away really well, and here Rosberg making the run now down towards turn 1. Hamilton takes the lead ahead of Ricciardo. Rosberg's down into 3rd and has been pressurised now by Max Verstappen. Rosberg reclaims that 2nd place.
So just need to pick the pace up a little bit.
I'm working on it.
So Ricciardo's about to get onto the back of the train, so we really need to open this gap up.
Well, I'm driving to the best of my ability with these tyres.
Okay, copy that, Lewis. But if these cars bunch up, then we'll be bringing Nico in first.
Well, why would they do that? It's not like I'm driving slow, I'm trying.
Yeah, Lewis, just the risk is that we're putting the win in jeopardy.
And that's your example there of the Mercedes-Benz rules of engagement.
This Haas seems to have been in the way a long time, doesn't it?
Look behind, look how that has given Nico Rosberg a bit of encouragement. Martin, the gap was 1.7 seconds. It's now 0.6 of a second, and Rosberg has managed to get past the Haas down the main straight. Sees the checkered flag, and for the 5th time takes the win at the Hungarian Grand Prix, and for the first time in 2016 takes the championship lead as well.
Awesome race, Lewis. Great stuff.
As always, guys, thank you so much for all your hard work this weekend and everyone back in the factory. This is a great result for the team. I appreciate all the hard work. Thank you.
Question to Lewis. Lewis, in yesterday's Mercedes team press conference, your session, you'd said you'd asked for urgent clarification of the double yellow flag ruling, regulation. In fact, your words were, it said it just needs to be clarified now. About an hour later, Nico got called to the stewards. Do you believe that you influenced it in any way? Did you contact anybody, or was it purely coincidental that Nico was called in an hour after you made that comment?
Well, the stewards need to come up with some kind of solution, because it is in, for the whole 23 years of racing, it has been, if it's yellow flag, you slow down. And if it's double yellow flag, you be prepared to stop. Now, Nico was doing the same speed at the apex as I was doing on the previous time lap. So if there happened to be a car that was spun or a marshal on the track, it would have been pretty hard for him to have slowed down in that case. So that's why, and the fact that he didn't get penalized for it means that we need to be careful, because the message we're sending not only to the drivers here, but also to the drivers in the low categories, it's now possible for you to only lose 1/10 of a second in a double wave yellow flag section, which is the most dangerous, one of the most dangerous scenarios with the double yellow flag. So they need to clear that up, because before it was 2/10 you're supposed to lose with 1 yellow flag and half a second with 2 yellow flags. That's where it wasn't the case yesterday, and there was no penalty. So going into the next race, we could be battling for the next for pole position, and we see double yellow flags. We only know we have to do a small lift and lose 1/10 of a second, and we'll be fine, and go purple in the sector. So that's why it does need to be clarified, and I'm sure Charlie and the stewards are going to do so, because it needs to be clear.
So thank you for making that statement. So now I'm going to put my response. And what you have to do with double yellow is significantly reduce your speed, and make sure you're going safe. I went 20 kilometers per hour slower into that corner. 20 kilometers per hour is a different world in an F1 car. 20 kilometers per hour, you are going proper slow, and there's, that's completely, everything is safe. That's how I did my speed, and lifted off 30 meters before my braking point. So I was just rolling there, 20 kilometers per hour slower. Until I got to the apex. Then, of course, when you're in the apex, I had a much tighter line because I went in slow, and then so I can accelerate out again. So definitely, I significantly reduced my speed, and that's what it says that you need to do. And that's why for the stewards, that was completely acceptable. It was very, very obvious what I did, very clear. And of course, on a drying track, you're going to get massively faster every lap. It's not like the track was consistent. Drying track, it's irrelevant what the sector time was, because you're going to get so much quicker every time you go out there, because there's wet patches, and when they dry, you just go so much quicker. So in that segment, I was slower, where there was the yellow flag. But of course, in the big sector, yeah, I'm quicker, because the track is getting quicker, and I'm pushing in all the other corners. So it was a pretty clear case for the stewards.
Once more, it's lights out and away we go. Lewis Hamilton, who goes into the first corner in the lead. Verstappen is ahead of Ricciardo, is ahead of Rosberg, who's had an appalling start, really. Can he now get past Ricciardo? Out in front, onto the grass goes Nico Rosberg. Verstappen in second place. Under pressure, Rosberg now from Sebastian Vettel. Rosberg holds that fourth place. It's another Red Bull versus Mercedes battle. Has Rosberg managed to get a decent exit out of that hairpin? He's now wheel to wheel with Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo just inching ahead as they take the right-hander. Full pace inside line for Ricciardo for the next corner. Will Rosberg yield? He won't. He gets forced to the outside extremities of the track.
So pushing hard now, push hard now.
He's going to have a go under braking. Verstappen moves across to try and cover him. Rosberg is not going to give up this fight. Verstappen has to go off the track. Its elbows getting out, its muscles being flexed. Has Rosberg got ahead of Max Verstappen? He has. And I'll ask, did he push him off the track? Was it a bit too aggressive? Or did Verstappen kind of leave him no option?
So, Nico, important, you keep pushing. You've got a 5-second penalty that we need to take at the next pit stop.
Can you explain to them that I was full lock on the steering wheel and I couldn't steer more? And he moved in braking, that was the big problem. That's completely not allowed.
It is going to be 6 wins in the last 7 races. Hamilton wins the German Grand Prix. A commanding, convincing performance from the defending world champion.
You then got this penalty. Talk us through that move on Max and how you saw it.
I thought it was a good battle, and that's it, you know. And I was very surprised that I got penalised. I didn't expect that at all.
Nico, going into this break now, 19 points behind, it must be tough. So what do you do? Tell us how you come back in Spa fighting.
19 points is not tough at all. Tough is losing the race in the way I did today. That's very, very tough, and that's going to take some time to digest now in the next few days. Thankfully, I got my family to help me over that.
I was about to say, I'm sure they'll help. Thanks very much, Nico.
So, 62-point turnaround. You came at the beginning of the weekend and said, I don't feel like I'm in the lead of the championship. I've got to take an engine penalty at some point. Do you feel like you're leading it now with 19 points?
I feel I'm closer to leading it. I never would have thought that I would come back from 43 points down and be 19 points ahead. So I think I just didn't give up, and we didn't give up. These guys have worked so hard. We're both here in the back of the factory, and yeah. We do have a penalty up ahead at some stage. This engine's done amazing to get to where we are, and I'm super grateful for it. The life that it's led and the laps that we've led with it, and I think it's as good a buffer as I could get with the circumstances. So I'm very, very grateful, and I'm going to keep pushing.
That 4th World Championship, sort of touching distance.
I have every belief that it's possible to do it. I've got incredible support back in the UK, but also around the world from many Brits, but also different people from different nations, and I'm a big thank you to all of them if they are watching for all the love and support that you guys send my way. I honestly don't feel I would be able to drive with a full heart like I do today if it wasn't for you guys. So
have a great holiday.
Thank you, man.
And are you confident of maintaining the momentum from Germany, or could an engine penalty interfere with that here?
Naturally, we already discussed engine penalties before, so that will come into play for sure. But I'll do everything I can to minimise the impact that it will have, and but otherwise, beyond that penalty that I'll eventually take, I think I'll be able to continue with the momentum. I plan to continue with the momentum that I had before the break.
Has it been decided whether you'll take the engine penalty here or at another race?
As far as I'm aware, we will be taking the penalty this weekend, yes. I have no engines left, so. Okay.
It's lights out and away we go. Verstappen goes down the inside on Raikkonen and it's a chain reaction. Sebastian Vettel stranded in the middle of the track. That's a tyre gone. Carlos Sainz, his right rear tyre exploding along the Kemmel Straight, causing a huge amount of damage and spinning that Toro Rosso round. Oh, and there's someone gone into the tyre barrier. And it is the Renault of Kevin Magnussen.
Safety car. Kevin had a big crash. Is the driver okay?
Yep, so it's Magnussen, the driver okay. They need to repair the barriers.
Rosberg into the bus stop chicane, and then Ricciardo, then comes Hülkenberg, and then comes Fernando Alonso. Lewis Hamilton. He's got past Nico Hülkenberg, and from 21st on the grid, Hamilton is now up into the podium places.
Nice work, Lewis. Nice work. So we've got Ricciardo.
Nico Rosberg, he wins in Spa for the first time. He wins for the 6th time in 2016.
Fantastic drive, Nico. Well done. Thank you, Paddy. Awesome results. Awesome.
Lewis Hamilton, from 21st on the grid, comes home to take the final podium place.
I'm so happy and proud of everyone today. I really was not expecting that. As I said yesterday, I have no idea what was capable of today. Well, I just made sure I came with a real positive mental attitude today, and obviously it worked. So.
Still 9 points ahead, engines in the pool as well to use, and a new gearbox for the next race. It's looking good.
Unbelievable, yeah. I mean, I think I now have more engines than most, and that's a great thing. Very happy about that. And now, I guess the fight's really on from the next race, and hopefully for us, it's kind of a cleaner second half of the season, so we can really see some good fights.
It's lights out and away we go. Hamilton's had a poor start here. Rosberg and Vettel going into the first corner. Rosberg heads into the first corner ahead of Sebastian Vettel.
As Hamilton looked to pass Ricciardo, but Ricciardo's got the inside line. Hamilton can switch back, get a better traction. And Hamilton's got the piece of track he needs.
He looks a lot closer coming through Parabolica. The Williams struggling on its tyres. Hamilton now picks up the toe, gets closer and closer, switches out from behind the rear wing of the Williams. Hamilton is alongside and past and up into 4th place.
Okay, Lewis, just make sure you keep these tyres in good shape. Still get you up back behind Nico with strategy.
Kimi Raikkonen into the pits. Yeah.
Ferrari 2 stopping then, because they've gone super soft so far.
Okay, Lewis, so it looks like other cars may be going for the 2 stop. So we're going to stick with plan A.
Race leader Nico Rosberg is in a land of his own.
What tyre are they on? So both Ferraris have taken super soft again, so they have to stop once more.
2 more laps after this one, just let us know.
I can do it, just check the lap time.
Gap to Lewis behind, has stabilised at 10.5 seconds after the traffic. Lewis running a couple of tenths slower than you at the moment. Just be careful with the lockups.
He comes onto the main straight to win the Italian Grand Prix for the first time. It's Nico Rosberg who closes the gap at the championship lead to just 2 points.
Woo! Excellent job, really good job on that first stint, Nicola.
Awesome guys, thank you very much. It's great to win here in Italy.
Grazie mille, troppo bello. Proviamolo. Ta-ra-ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. I'm very, very happy because in the end it was one at the start. I got a great start. I really improved on that since the summer break because I had a lot of difficulties before that. And so, yeah, really pleased about that. Awesome.
What have these 2 wins done for you? You're back to within 2 points now. We've got 7 races to go.
They have given me a lot of happiness and exciting moments. So it's been brilliant. I mean, out there, very, very special today in front of the Tifosi. They're incredible. I mean, similar to you British fans, you're also right up there amongst the best in the world. And but today was cool.
It was the 7th time this year when either of you lost the leading position starting from pole, just after starting from pole. Usually you very quickly adapt to every technical rule changes, so can you explain us why is it so difficult to get it right with this simple clutch?
I think you mean single clutch, yeah. Nico?
It's the rule change just makes it more challenging because it's down to the driver now to do it, it's just more difficult.
Any thoughts, Lewis, on this?
Don't agree that it's more down to the driver. I think the driver thing is the same as it was before. It's just we have a relatively inconsistent clutch, and it's hard to. I think in the past we were able to be told our clutch temperature and be easier to hit a target as we're now. It's a lot less easy to know what your clutch is going to be delivering and what it's not.
Improving on their sector times to try and beat their times on the post, but there goes Ricciardo.
Second.
Great final sector from Ricciardo, went purple. He's on the front row. Verstappen only 4th fastest. Ricciardo leads it for Red Bull. Rosberg doesn't improve but still retains that provisional pole. Hamilton will start 3rd at the moment unless Kimi Räikkönen can do something about that because he's not improved on his time either. And this man, Nico Rosberg, consistent qualifying. The last 21 consecutive races he's been either 1st or 2nd. And it's lights out and away we go. There's Nico Hulkenberg into the wall. He's got tagged and Hulkenberg out of the race. And we've got the safety car for a little bit longer. And look at that, Lewis Hamilton right on the tail of Daniel Ricciardo.
My pace in the car in front.
Copy, Ricciardo doing 51.7, 51.7, Nico 51.9 last lap. Really need to get on top of these front brakes.
You need to start coming out with some plan to stop me from losing 3rd because this is all the pace I've got with the brakes. The other car not having the same problem.
Look at this. Currently Nico's doing a similar pace and similar level of management. He does have the issue.
And there's Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Räikkönen, and Räikkönen down the inside on Hamilton. Hamilton tries to defend, but doesn't give Räikkönen much room. but there was just enough for the Ferrari.
Lewis, we're going to switch to plan B. Plan B just needs to pull Raikkonen in.
Hamilton has one set of Super Soft to be used in this race, the set of a scrub set. He has used Ultra Softs going on to Kimi Raikkonen's Ferrari. Has Hamilton charged enough? He's ahead now and will stay ahead as well, because as Raikkonen comes back onto the track.
This is to put pressure on Rosberg because they've got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose, have they?
So, box, box, box. So staying out, Nico, staying out, important, staying out, staying out.
It's tantalisingly close. They're teasing us now a bit, aren't they? It's not quite going to happen.
The fireworks light up the sky for Nico Rosberg as he wins in Singapore.
Brilliant drive. Let's come on, guys! Come on! Yay! At last in Singapore.
What's your mindset right now? I mean, if I told you that this race in the past here in Singapore has only been won by world champions, can you feel it this year? Do you feel any different to previous years in terms of your chase that title?
No, as I've said all along, I'm not thinking about that, and that helps me concentrate on my race weekend, and just go for the race win, and that's what I've been doing and did also this weekend. I'm just really excited about that, and just going to celebrate that now. And thanks for tuning in, everybody back in England or wherever you are. So a good weekend.
Going to celebrate hard tonight?
Well, not hard, but for sure we'll do some celebrating, yeah.
Tough to leave here, being behind in the championship again to Nico by 8 points. Do you reset and look forward to Malaysia now?
It's not as tough as you think. I don't know why, but...
You've done it before?
Well, I haven't been exactly at this point in the season in this position before, but I've definitely been a lot worse. So.
Anything you've learned from this weekend in your approach?
Not really, no.
It's lights out and away we go. And Hamilton does get away well, and also Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel side by side. Rosberg tries to get the slipstream as into turn 1 we go. Looks like Nico Rosberg has problems as well as at the back Sebastian Vettel.
Keep an eye on my left front, I drove over some debris.
Okay,
so,
get the delta positive first. Get the delta positive.
Yeah, I'm getting the positive.
Good job there, Nico, doing a good job.
Grosjean from a points position out of the race.
Ricciardo 3.2. Copy, good information. We'll go targets +3. Target +3. Currently lap 14.
Rosberg again, this time on Carlos Sainz down the inside. You can do it.
You are pushing from now. So we are on the hard tyre. Okay, Lewis, these are great lap times. Just keep your head down, mate. You're doing a great job.
Touched Kimi Raikkonen. at the back of that Mercedes car. His engine has blown and his chances of winning the Malaysia Grand Prix with it.
Oh no, no!
Okay, Nico, we have a 10-second time penalty. And currently, Raikkonen 6.5 seconds behind on the soft tyre.
And up till the end, is that correct?
Paper, that's what we need.
Ricciardo wins the Malaysia Grand Prix. Max Verstappen comes home second, and the championship battle for Nico Rosberg looks ever better and ever brighter.
Lewis, I think everybody wants to give you a collective hug right now after that today. How are you doing?
Yeah, I've had better days.
How do you get over I mean, you've just got out of the car right now, so it's a really difficult moment. What will you do? What will you do to pick yourself up?
There's not really much to do. I mean, I just got to move on. The guys did a fantastic job this weekend, and we did everything we could. I did everything I could, and I just can't believe that there's 8 Mercedes cars and only my engines are the ones that have been going this year. I just something just doesn't feel right, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Doesn't feel right in terms of luck, or
Something just doesn't feel right.
do you think were you turning the engine up at all to get that gap for an extra pit stop or anything? No.
No, it's a brand new engine. Done one race with it. When I did, I think P3 with it in qualifying, and there's a brand new engine out of that new 3 that I had. And anyways, it is what it is. We'll just move forwards and try to continue to drive as we have this weekend. But yeah, it's just odd. There's been like 43 engines from Mercedes, and only mine have gone.
You said to me on Wednesday you've had bigger gaps in the championship, and you've come back. You've got a draw on that right now, haven't you?
Right now, I don't even know if my car's going to make it. These next 5 races, I know that we've got it in us. Me and my engineers, my mechanics, I know we've got it in us, but who knows what those next engines that I have are going to do. So we're just going to keep our head down and hope for the best. But obviously today was really not a good day.
Set here and ready for the Japanese Grand Prix in 2016. Lights out and away we go. Hamilton's had a really bad start. Rosberg leads Verstappen, then leads Sergio Perez, then Ricciardo. Rosberg heads into the S's and away into the lead.
Sorry guys. No stress, Lewis. So DRS is now enabled. Raikkonen 0.7 ahead. Past Perez with ease, so maybe Raikkonen will do the same with Hulkenberg. This is looking up, so other cars are struggling now on their tyres. You just see Raikkonen. Gap's now at 1.2. Just remember, you need to keep these tyres alive as long as possible.
Race leader Nico Rosberg comes in to pit and he switches to another set of hard compound tyres, and that should be the last time we see him in the pit. Have Mercedes managed to pull off a strategy masterstroke? Soft compound tyres going on for Sebastian Vettel. Ferrari are going really aggressive. Here comes Hamilton in the pit stops. Hamilton has managed now to get past Sebastian Vettel, but Vettel is going to be on the faster soft compound tyre.
Pulling away in the straights.
So gap to Verstappen, still up 5 seconds. He's pushing quite hard because he's got Lewis close behind him, just be aware.
You reckon he's going to go late at the braking? He's going to go late. Verstappen moves late now. Hamilton goes around the outside, has to go straight on. And it's been another perfect Sunday afternoon for Nico Rosberg. Rosberg comes home to win the Japanese Grand Prix and once again extend his championship lead.
Really good job, Nico. Really good job.
Thanks a lot, guys. Amazing weekend, and congrats to the win on the Constructors.
With the gap now being 33, Nico, I mean, there's a few people, there's going to be a lot written, I think, and said. I mean, it's almost touching distance, but you know that you can now finish second in the last 4 races if Lewis is to win them all, and you can still win the championship. Does that enter your mindset, or is you saying you just keep on focusing on one race at a time?
Well, it just did, but I'm pushing it right back out because there's no point to get into any of that stuff. I mean, there's still a long way to go, and for me, I just want to keep on trying to win the races. And that's it. I don't want to start calculating or anything as such, or bringing home a second place or whatever. No, that's not going to work.
Okay, well, let's flip the mindset then, because you did win in Mexico, Abu Dhabi and Brazil. We know the end of the season you had, so you must be taking some really positive thoughts into those ones.
For sure, yeah. No, the next upcoming races really suit me, actually. Yeah, I've always felt comfortable on those tracks. So yeah, looking forward to the battle, and it will be an exciting end to the season.
And what about, there's a battle coming on from behind, a little bit of strength coming from Red Bull and Ferrari. I suppose that's something that might help you in many respects, because it starts sort of getting in the mix with you guys, then those points are actually going to be restricted for you, but more importantly for Lewis.
Yeah, so well, what does it help me? I don't know. I mean, Red Bull has been pretty close, yeah. So it's been, but we're still the quickest car, and so we're able to dominate the weekends, which is great to see.
Just finally, Nico, I mean, there's been a lot of talk in the British press, perhaps about after the poor luck for Lewis Hamilton, that he might have been distracted this week. Did you sense that at all? Do you ever sense that with Lewis, that perhaps there's a chink in the arm?
I'm the guy who knows, because I see backstage, you know. And Lewis was as focused as ever this weekend, you know, putting in those long hours of working, getting the car perfect and everything. So for sure, you don't need to expect him to back off in any way. On the contrary, he's going to give it everything as he always does, you know. So it's going to be, it's always difficult against him, you know, and it will continue to be.
Thanks for your time, Nico.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Back to the day job. 100 points available in the remaining races. You trail by 33. Clearly, you need some wins to get back into it, but is Austin then the ideal place to race next, given your history here? I mean, you've won 3 out of the 4 races that have been held on this racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, Austin's always been, I mean, America's always been good hunting ground for me. So I've been out here for, a week already. So I'm looking forward to fighting again. This is a fantastic track. They've done they did a very good job with the design, and it's one of the few of the newer circuits that really allows good overtaking and following of cars, which is always difficult in Formula 1. So I'm here. I know the weather's gonna be better this weekend, so particularly for the fans, that'd be great. And excited.
You've had some great races and pole laps this year, but also a couple of more shaky weekends. How will you look back, or how do you look back on this season as a competitor for you, leaving aside the reliability issues?
Honestly, I don't look back. There's very little point to look back. It's only looking forward. As I said, there's obviously the 4 races, but still got hopefully some time here in my career for better days. I'm obviously aware that you can't always have great races, and it's a long season, so no one's perfect, but bless you. All I can do is work hard, as hard as I can with the team. We've got a great car, a great team. There's no reason why we can't have more positive weekends moving forwards.
Now this is the part of the track where Rosberg absolutely nailed it on their first run in Q3. Saved his tyres, had that little bit of extra grip, could push it harder through the final couple of corners. What's Rosberg's time? Is it good enough for provisional pole? It is, but only by 1/10 and a half. Hamilton still has the chance to take pole position for the first time here at the Circuit of the Americas. He was on pole in Indy before. He's on pole here in Texas now, and he breaks the 1:35 barrier. Lewis Hamilton takes his 9th pole position of the season. And it's lights out and away we go. Hamilton gets away well, Rosberg gets away well, does Ricciardo as well. And Ricciardo on Nico Rosberg. Hamilton leads and it looks like Ricciardo has just got ahead there. It's Lewis Hamilton and he's in the lead.
Okay, so we're going for the long game, Nico, so push hard now.
Pushing hard is not the long game.
Hamilton at 80 kilometres an hour makes his way out of the pit lane up the hill. You can just see Daniel Ricciardo actually on the main straight, going past the finish line now. The gap was actually quite comfortable. Now we've got a virtual safety car, and Mercedes are going to take the chance, the opportunity. Hamilton and Rosberg both pitting. It's going to be another set of medium tyres for Nico Rosberg.
You can see Rosberg ahead. Let's get after him.
Max Verstappen has rather hampered severely, shall we say, his teammates' racing. Lewis Hamilton will rather like this as well. It is going to be a 4th win in Texas, a 5th win in the United States. It's Lewis Hamilton's first win since Germany. Rosberg comes home to finish 2nd.
Get in there, mate. Awesome result, Lewis. Awesome result. Good job, boy.
It's lights out and away we go. Hamilton is leading from Rosberg, and then comes Verstappen. Another great start for Fernando Alonso. As down towards the first corner we come. Rosberg slips in beside Hamilton. Hamilton locks up, but still makes the corner. No, he doesn't. Verstappen and Rosberg almost touching, and Rosberg has to go wide as well, but they get through it unscathed.
It's definitely going to be hard. 100-degree difference between the two front brakes.
And that's why we have the virtual safety car. Pascal Wehrlein in the manner. Track is now clear. Safety car has gone. We're back racing once again. The gap between Rosberg and Ricciardo is now 23.5 seconds, and it could just be that Ricciardo, being held up by Perez, has saved Nico Rosberg from being overtaken by one or both of the Red Bulls. We're looking way, way back. Rosberg comes out and he's ahead of both Red Bulls.
Well, a new fastest lap, a 1:32.7. Now just 3.8 seconds behind.
So just be aware Verstappen is pushing hard now.
Because he's going to do another stop, or why is he doing that?
He's just trying to put you under pressure.
Verstappen goes down the inside, loses control, goes wide and off the track.
Lewis, we're coming up on a lot of traffic. Got Kvyat out 4 seconds ahead. He's in a group of 8 cars. 8.
Hamilton has come to Mexico City and he is winning the Mexico Grand Prix. The championship challenge is still on.
Get in there, Lewis. Great result, mate. Really solid weekend.
Nico Rosberg will come home to make it a Mercedes 1-2, and the man in the lead of the championship still hanging on. We see Hamilton as it was, Martin, in the first of the flying laps in Q3. Hamilton then puts in a really good middle sector with his teammate up through the first sector. Hamilton crosses the line and improves on his time. It's a 1:10.7. Is it going to be a third pole in 3 years at Interlagos for Rosberg? No, it's not. He's missed out by a tenth of a second. Bigger smile under the Ayrton Senna crash helmet of Lewis Hamilton because he starts on pole for the Brazilian Grand Prix in 2016.
See much behind the safety car. Okay, you ask Charlie if we can hold a bit further back. I can barely see the lights. When I stop later, if there's any way you can block the top of my visor. It's so much water coming in, big chunks, and just landed in my eyes.
After 6 laps behind the safety car, we are now going for it at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Hamilton and the spray that's been kicked up behind him down the back straight. Goes Nico Rosberg.
So cars are stopping for engine tyres.
No way, too early.
Is Marcus Ericsson, and he's out of this race as well. Ericsson looks like he's hit the wall as well. The safety car has been deployed.
Was that someone on Inters?
That was Ericsson on Inter. Ericsson on Inter.
There's still way too much standing water.
Well, Hamilton's got a good start again, as for the second time in this race, he leads the field away as the safety car peels in. Hamilton then, from Rosberg, accelerating up towards the main straight they go. There's Kimi Räikkönen into the wall, and he almost collects the Red Bull, who does actually hit the front wing. That is a major incident for Kimi Räikkönen, and that is a red flag.
We are potentially expecting an increase in rain intensity.
So a red flag.
I don't know why we're stopping. This is normal.
Hamilton towards the centre S as he goes. Under braking, Verstappen is late on Rosberg but can't quite close up. Rosberg keeps that second place. Behind us, now see Max Verstappen overtaking Nico Rosberg. And Max Verstappen, can he keep it out of the barriers? Just. How has he managed to keep that away from the Armco? It might still be a very costly move for him because there is Nico Rosberg into the centre S as we go. Verstappen defending.
Championship flashing in front of his eyes.
So Nico had a half spin, exit of 12 through 13. The rear spun up, so just exercise caution.
There is Felipe Massa. The safety car is out.
I don't know why, but the safety car is going very slow. Can't keep temps up, it's going too slow.
Is he pitting? He's pitting.
He is. The man with the Senna tribute helmet for this weekend takes the checkered flag and wins the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Woo! Yes! Brazil!
It's It's his teammate, Nico Rosberg, who continues to lead in the championship.
Right, let's throw it to the floor. Who's got the first question?
I've got a question for both of you. It's been a close fought season with the advantage swinging in both of your favours. What would each of you say was your best and worst drive of the year, please?
Me? If it's okay, I'm just going to dig into the best. I prefer that one. And so one of the highlights for me was Singapore definitely this year, because it was just a weekend that really, in an important part of the season also, which really went my way, starting with qualifying, then in the race having the pressure from the Red Bull and still getting the win in the end. That was one that I really like to look back on.
Can you remind me of the bad races that I have? I'm sure there's been some bad ones, but I can't remember. I don't even remember that. Yeah, no. Can someone? Seriously? No. I don't want to just discard the negative ones, so that's why I just need help remembering. Singapore was... Yeah, Baku as well. That wasn't really my fault. I had a dodgy engine setting, but I think it's important for me is to definitely try to remember the negative ones, because those experiences are generally what help you realize or appreciate more the wins. And I'm sure there's been, if I look at Japan, for example, getting off the line terribly, there's been several races like that. But regardless of those really bad starts, I've always come back through with a fighting spirit, and that's, for me, something to be proud of when I finish the race, that I've given it everything, regardless of the stumble or the mistake at the beginning. But one of my favorite races was Monaco, I think. In tough, tricky conditions in the rain in Monaco, and then wet to dry, staying out ahead of Daniel was a serious challenge, and one I really loved.
Nico, Eric. On Sunday evening, season will be over, but let's come at the beginning of the season. But no fear, I don't go through the whole season.
Thank God.
But
Thank God.
You received at the beginning 5 mechanics from the team of Lewis, and 5 of your team left the team to Lewis. What was your impression of this change? Was it at the end a good idea during the season? What were your thoughts concerning this change? You were surprised? Obviously, you are not a fan of this change. And who has had this idea at the end?
This is a very good question. And I would like also to just add to it, what was the explanation given to you?
So the easiest way to answer that is if we look at the recent team spirit within the team, because we've been fighting now for 3 years, and it's within the team that we're fighting for the race wins and for the championships. So it's quite natural that a little separation can happen between the two sides of the garage. And for the overall team performance, that's not a good thing, because for the overall team performance, you want to have great team spirits, everybody fighting for one direction, everybody holding together. And that's why the decision was taken to rotate a little bit, and I think it's shown this year that it's been a very, very good thing to do, because our team spirit has been as good as ever. We've seen that recently. We had some great parties together and whatever, and everybody's just sticking together, and it's an awesome feeling within the team. So yeah, it looks like for sure that was the right thing to do. Even though, of course, initially it's not something that's super comfortable, because we're my mechanics are close to me and it feels good and everything. So then change takes a bit of time to gel, as Lewis touched on before. So, but I understand that from a team's perspective, that was the right thing to do, and it's worked well.
You have to buy my book in down the line in 10 years' time when I tell you exactly what happened. But yeah, it'll be an interesting read.
Lewis, Nico, could each of you just briefly talk about your relationship developing during these 3 years of fighting for the championship against each other, please?
Lewis, why don't you go?
Sorry, what was that question?
How your relationships developed over the last 3 years of fighting for the championship with each other?
Yeah, it's been an interesting one. Well, I mean, we obviously had a very good relationship generally when we started out when we were kids. Back then, obviously, it was a race weekend was generally for kids karting. You're out having fun. You go out and drive, and you come in and you fool around. You give a bit of information to your mechanic, and then you go and play PlayStation, or you go unicycling, or we had a lot in common. We both loved pizza. We loved eating boxes of Kellogg's Frosties and doing all crazy things. And we used to go on big motorbike tours. We did all those things. I still do every one of those. But Nico has shifted in the sense, he's obviously very, very solely focused in terms of, looking after himself. So, and obviously we parted ways when we were younger too. He went BMW, I went Renault, and but then we got to Formula One, and this was something that we had spoken about as kids. And yeah, we've obviously had ups and downs, but ultimately I think we've managed to, particularly in the last year, being of the age we are, which is pretty old, considering when we first met, I think we've been able to manage it pretty well, and really happy for him and his family, and proud of stepping away from being our competitive selves. Proud of him, of how he's driven, particularly this year, obviously, and it's been a pleasure to have him as a teammate. So yeah, I'm sure that will continue.
Yeah, for me, I mean, it's been the thing is that we still have, of course, from back in those days, is the base respect, and that will never go, and that's definitely helped us through these years. And for sure, I have a lot of respect for Lewis, and outside of the car and also inside of the car, and of course, yeah, it's been some difficult moments, but some good moments as well in the past years, and this year in general, I think we've made progress, and so yeah, it's generally neutral. But of course, it is a difficult environment.
Thank you very much. Good luck in the Grand Prix this weekend, gentlemen. Thank you.
Hamilton then, round we go, the final corner, he's on provisional pole, can he extend his advantage? It's a 1:38.7 for Lewis Hamilton. Now we turn to Nico Rosberg. Can Hamilton get a 61st pole, or will Nico Rosberg get pole here in Abu Dhabi this evening? He crosses the line, he's missed out by 0.3 of a second. Lewis Hamilton is on pole for the 4th race in a row.
Lewis did a great job, and it was just couple of tenths too fast in the, I think, second sector mainly is where I lost it. So yeah, I accept that, and then tomorrow, anyways, from second place, I've won several races this year, so there's still a chance, and I'm gonna for sure I'll go for it.
In terms of pressure, how much of that are you feeling, if at all?
Now I'm okay. In qualifying, the adrenaline was there, of course, but it always is. Qualifying is always full-on excitement, and sleeping should be fine tonight. I usually don't struggle with that. And then tomorrow, yeah, it's going to be very exciting. I look forward to the battle, trying to put everything together, and fighting Lewis and trying to get the race win.
Are you feeling pressure? You stand here all cool, relaxed, smiling, but is there pressure there?
I think, for me, honestly, I've got everything to gain. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not in the lead of the championship. I'm super easy and likely for him to finish 2nd or 3rd tomorrow, and he's champion. So I mean, I think slightly different mindset for me. I'm fighting for it, I'm chasing for it, and it's much nicer position to be in some respects, and in others it's less off. But as long as I do, as long as I feel that I've fulfilled every ounce of what my heart's capacity, then I can leave here proud of myself. And so far today, I've done that. So.
It's lights out and away we go. Rosberg and Hamilton get away well, as does Kimi Räikkönen as well, and Räikkönen takes third place. Hamilton goes into the first turn in the lead from Rosberg. Verstappen has spun. It's Lewis Hamilton from Nico Rosberg, from Kimi Räikkönen, Daniel Ricciardo and Sebastian Vettel. Let's go down to Ted, you've got a bird's eye view, Ted.
Yeah, he's right in front of me. It's the soft tyre, and the Ferrari are responding.
And that's a very slick stop, isn't it? But once again, he has to stop. It's the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel that actually holds Nico Rosberg up this time around. Just got out ahead of Räikkönen, but he is behind Max Verstappen. Verstappen hasn't stopped yet, of course. I tell you what, that was really tight.
So they're purposely making Verstappen slow, so you need to get past him. So don't take any risks with Verstappen, you're doing the right thing. It's critical now that we start passing Verstappen.
But he's going for it now from a long way back. Verstappen on the outside, Rosberg on the inside. They come close, but they don't quite touch. And as they swoop round that left-hand kick, Rosberg puts himself up into second place. Fabulous move there.
So catch the back, good Lewis. Good job, good job. P2 is safe at the moment, Nico. P2 is safe at the moment. That's good to know. Situation, 26 laps remaining, you're going to the end. Verstappen is car behind you, he's also going to the end. He's on 8 lap all the time, so most important, look after that front. Question, just wondering why you're so slow. Currently unsafe to Vettel. Vettel wants it. We don't believe so, Lewis, but he may be a threat later in the race. He takes the super stop. This is an instruction. We need 45-1 for the win.
I'm suggesting guys in this race. Consider doing something. I can go so much quicker.
Yeah, copy that.
Vettel seems so much closer as they go to the next chicane. He gets in front of Max Verstappen.
Lewis, this is Paddy. We need you to pick up the pace to win this race. That's the instruction.
And Lewis is trying to go as slow as he can out front. You know, just look at the sector time. Hamilton's like, I will not clear off into the sunset. There we go.
Under braking, tries to go round the outside. Oh my God! Rosberg fends off well. It's come down to the wire, but he's surviving with Sebastian Vettel pressurising him all the way. Lewis Hamilton wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg is second. He takes the championship.
Yes! World champion! Brilliant! Lucky, amazing job! I'm so proud of you! You did amazing!
Formula One world champion. That sounds good, doesn't it?
Unbelievable, really. Oh, unbelievable. And it was so extremely intense out there.
How are you feeling?
Pretty good. Generally, I did my job and did everything I needed to do this weekend, and got the pole position and won the last 4 races. Have more wins than everyone I think this year, which is a great feeling. I did everything I could.
The first big one was relief. The first emotion, just relief. And I was crying my eyes out on the lap back. That's it.
I mean, providing in the following years we're doing equal cars, there's more championships to win. We'll discuss it afterwards, as we always do as a team, and pull back in. But I think we can't let that overshadow the fact that Nico's just won a championship.
You can understand the team's perspective, and you can understand Lewis's perspective. So there's no. That's it.
He did a fantastic job, so big congratulations to him. It's a great feeling to win a world championship, and look forward to fighting with him next year.
It feels like I've been racing him forever, and always he's just managed to edge me out and get the title, even when we were small in go-karts, So, and he's just an amazing driver, and of course one of the best in the history. And so it's unbelievably special to beat him because the level is so high, and that makes this even more for sure so much more satisfying for me, because the benchmark is and I took the world championship away from him, which is phenomenal. Thank you all for coming. For me, it's a very special day today. Of course, as you know, to receive the trophy this evening. It's going to be amazing. But for another reason as well, I want to take the opportunity to announce that I've decided to end my Formula One career. Ever since I started when I was 6 years old, I had a very, very clear dream, and that was to become Formula One world champion. This year, it was extremely tough because I put absolutely everything into it. I didn't leave a stone unturned from Austin last year, really, where I suffered a lot after that loss. I've decided to follow my heart, and my heart has told me to stop there, call it a day. One of the most special things for me is also to have achieved it like my dad has been able to win the World Championship, so to share that with him. The first thing I did when I saw the World Championship trophy yesterday was to look, where's my dad, to see him, and that's been amazing. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you for everything.